Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a first impressions, trying a bunch of new products. Recently I've been doing more dedicated first impressions to specific collections or palettes, but I do have a ton of stuff that I just cannot get into dedicated videos. So today we're going to be playing around with the new Lunar Beauty collection. This is an eyeshadow palette as well as some lip products. I did also pick up Nemia by Nikki Tutorials. I didn't tell you guys about this, but I've had these products for about a week now. I just bought every single product, so I thought we would play with these and see what we think. I also got in the new BK lipsticks and lip liners. This is their first makeup product launch, so I'm interested to try these out. They also did send over the Hot and Flashy Angie collaboration. This is a brush set, so I thought we would play with this too. So those are the main things I'm going to be focusing on. I also have some brushes from Beautylish, and then I've got some highlighters I want to test out, some blushes. So I will link everything down below that I used today. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe, and if you like these types of videos, please give this video a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and get into it. So we're gonna do an eye look first. I always like to do my eyes, or usually I do first, so that if I have fallout, I can clean it up and I can sharpen my wing or anything like that. So we're gonna be using the Lunar Beauty Moonspell Volume 2 palette. So he originally came out with the Moonspell palette a while back. I did a look I can link down below. And then he released the Volume 2 this month. So this is kind of like Halloween vibes. This is what the card looks like. Manny is serving. So beautiful. And in this collection, there is this color palette for $48. You get 20 shades. And then he also has a liquid lipstick and then 2 lip glosses. The lip glosses are 17. The liquid lipstick is 18. So here is the card that comes in the PR box. The packaging on this, you guys, is so luxe and heavy. I've never seen anything like this. So it has a sleeve on it, and it is like a textured, thick cardboard. And then you take the palette out. Look how gorgeous this is. He really just takes it there with packaging. And then inside you do have the 20 shades. You have a huge mirror, and these are the shades. So here is the inside of the palette. You do get 20 different shades, and this is definitely a vampy, fun, rich color story. Lots of purples and reds, some pinks in there, and it looks like it's mostly matte. I like that it's super deep too. You can see like the different tones he has here, but you can get a lot of depth. So this is going to be definitely great for anybody that wants to try it. So we're just going to go ahead and play around, see what we can come up with. I also have these brushes from BK Beauty. So this brush set is a collaboration with Angie from Hot and Flashy. And in this brush set, you do get 7 pieces, and it looks like it is 5 eyeshadow brushes and then 2 face brushes. These are cruelty-free vegan fibers. I really love BK Beauty. I'm not sure of a price. I'll try to leave it down below, but we're going to use these to apply our eyeshadow and see what we think. But BK Beauty has amazing quality brushes, so I'm excited to give this a try, and I'm really excited to use this one, the 506, which is going to be perfect for concealer. So I do want to try to do more of a neutral look, even though this is a very wild color story. I want to see how neutral I can get it, and I don't want to spend a ton of time doing 20 steps. I want to see how effortless this can be. So I'm going to go into the shade Sally, which is the most neutral color in the palette. And then from the BK Beauty set, I'm using the A503, which is really just a blending brush. Typical brush I would go in with for crease work. Now I did set my base, so I just use a Kosas concealer, and then I set it with a powder. So I'm going to kind of stamp this on first and then sort of blend out here, pretty much on the outer half of my eye. I'm actually going to switch to the A501 because I do want a little bit, there you go, more of like a packing first, and then I'll blend out. So you can see this is the most neutral shade in the palette in terms of a matte, but it's still quite bright, and it still has that kind of orange undertone. And I'm sort of pulling this out a little bit, so it's almost like winged out. This is another reason why I like to do my eyes first, so that I can clean up if I go too low. So it's just a lot easier. If you make any mistakes, you can be a little bit more messy. So next I want to jump into Queenie. This is a really deep like burgundy shade, and I'm going to use the BK A502. So I'm going to keep this low, and I'm going to pack it on and then blend into that kind of orangey shade. And then you can even like switch back to another brush just to blend together. So next I'm going to jump into the shade Cameron, and I just want to fine tune this blend. I just sort of set that powder down, or that shade down, that Queenie shade. So I want to use this to soften the edges. I'm using a BK Beauty 201. So I'm just going to basically run over the edges of this. And I'm not really worried about this front part here because I'm going to put a shimmer on that. So I'm using this really to blend the edges, but also bring back in some of that like brightness. Again, if I get too low here, I'm not worried about it. And then I'm just going back in with that Queenie shade, the deep shade, to really make sure I don't lose that depth. So for some reason when I was editing, I noticed that my mic went out for the rest of this clip. I'm not sure what happened. Sometimes if you bump your mic and your cord gets bumped, sometimes it can kind of like short out. So I just applied the shade Grams to my lid, which is like a beautiful red shimmery shade. And I use my finger. I think the best way for these shimmers would be to use your finger. And then I'm jumping back into the palette and I'm going into the shade Mildred, and I'm going to use this more on the inner part of my eye and just kind of blend it into Grams just to kind of try out more of the shimmers. But these were really great. I didn't notice a ton of fallout even with no sticky base. So next I went in and I applied a little bit more of Queenie. So that's that deep kind of cranberry burgundy shade, just to make sure I didn't lose my depth. And then I attempted the new Morphe liner. So this is the Make It Big liner. I just didn't think it was very pigmented, and I felt like it was too flimsy. I didn't have any control. So then I was like, you know, I'm gonna try this Nars liner. So this is the Explicit Black Liquid Liner, Climax liner, and I'm showing you up close how it's sort of like flat on one side and then pointed on the other. It's kind of interesting, but I ended up liking this. There was a whole portion of me talking about this, but of course, my mic didn't work, so I'm sorry about that. Back to the audio. So as I said, I did pick up the entire set of Nemia products. This is Nikki Tutorials line of skincare or makeup prep. So let's start off with the Burr Cooling Eye Stick. I've used this a couple times, but this is a cooling stick for immediate refreshment for tired eyes. Use every moment of the day to brighten those fierce eyes. So essentially, you just apply it on your under eye. Now, I will say, not a huge fan of the packaging. It doesn't really scream Nikki Tutorials to me. You guys can tell me down below. I don't know. I'm just not really loving the color story. This is what the eye stick looks like, and then it is a clear gel. Now, what I can tell you from the times I've used it, it kind of is like I'm tugging a little bit. You have to sort of warm it up. It's a thick formula, so I thought it would be a little bit more like hydrating. I don't really know how to describe it. I almost wish it was smaller too, just for my eye, like to get right up in here. I do notice that it's kind of like down here because I'm trying to get like right up under my eye. Now I do think if you put this in the fridge, it would be really cooling, but I'm not noticing a ton of hydration. I've tried it a few times just with my other makeup off camera, and I didn't notice that my under eyes were more hydrated, and even now, like, I'm not really feeling anything. It doesn't feel super hydrating. I was a little kind of disappointed about that just because I thought a cooling eye stick would really give me hydration. So in terms of how it feels, it has a little bit of a tack to it. I don't notice a scent or anything like that, and I really don't notice that it's cooling. I think I would want to put that in the fridge and try to see if I can get it to feel more refreshing. It just tugs a little bit more than I had anticipated, so I don't know if I'm loving that. So next, let's go on to the License to Glow Serum. So this is supposed to be a glow-packed serum for a fresh, radiant, lit from within complexion. It says apply to your blank canvas before moisturizer. So this is really heavy. You get 1.69 ounces. I just feel like this packaging is so kind of just like out of left field. I'm not thinking of Nikki when I think of this, but let's go ahead and try this. I have not tried this out. So it has oh, it's like blue. So it has a dropper bottle and it's very liquidy. Ooh, I don't know if I like that scent. So I have it on my hands. It's not a super strong scent, but it's not a pleasant one. Like they didn't add in, at least to this product, a like, you know, watermelon scent or anything like that. And the one thing I am noticing with her products, I do feel like they're not really skincare. They're more of under your makeup. So this is more of like probably gonna have a little bit of like a glitter or illuminator in it. Basically prepping for makeup. Now you can obviously wear it alone, but this wouldn't be like a line that I would wear before bed as actual skincare. So it has that blue tint to it, but on the face, it just blends out. I feel like I'm looking really glowy. It feels a little bit sticky. I know Nikki does like a sticky base, so that kind of makes sense. So my skin is looking quite glowy, but we're going to use her next product, which is the Moisturizer and Primer Hybrid. So she said this was like pillowy marshmallow texture. I've used this a couple times. Again, really don't know my thoughts yet. This is what the packaging looks like. I really don't like the packaging. Every time I see it, I'm just like, something's just funky about it. I don't know. I'm not loving that. So this is what the primer moisturizer looks like. It definitely has that pillowy feel. When you feel it on the back of your hand, it does almost have like a glow in there. So again, this is why I'm saying like more of a before makeup type of product, because it does have like an illumination in there. So the scent to me on this is almost like a soft, musky, like unisex cologne or something. I don't know. I don't hate it, but if you're sensitive, be mindful of that. So I'm going to take a generous amount and just put this all over the skin. Oh yeah, like it has, I don't know if I want to say glitter in there, but it definitely has some sort of like illumination. Yeah, it smells like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like cologne or like unisex fragrance or something. So we are looking quite glowy. I mean, you can see it has some sort of radiance in it. Definitely not going to smooth your skin, but it does have a tack to it. It's supposed to grip onto your foundation. I'm going to take a little bit of my Lancome Blur Stick just right here where I have problem areas. I always get a big chunk in my nose ring, like never fails. So this is more of a luminous line from Nikki, from what I can tell, like hydrating luminous, and I always like to have like a matte T-zone, so I'm interested to see how my foundation will blend on this. For foundation, I really want to use something I know because I want to see how it sits over the Nikki Tutorials products or the Nemia products. So I'm going to use my Lawless Conceal the Deal. I've really been enjoying this. I've been mixing Fawn and Palo Santo, and I want to see how this kind of goes over all this dewy stuff because this is a matte foundation. It's almost like a self-setting. So I just mixed both shades here. So I'm going to start applying. I'm using a brush from one of these Sonia G sets. So far, it seems like it is. I definitely see a glow through. It says it's supposed to like give you radiance, but also longevity. And usually those two things don't go together, but because it's sticky and she said it like grips, I'm wondering. Now we also have a setting spray from Nemia, so we will try that too. So foundation applied beautifully over that. I do feel that I look more luminous than usual, but I don't really feel like it enhanced my texture too much. I do have issues like right here and here with texture, but I feel like once we powder, it should be good. So I'm gonna use a concealer I know and love, the ABH Magic Touch in the shade 9, because I wanna see how it applies, again, over that cooling eye stick. And then to blend this in, I'm going to use this BK Beauty A506. I used it a little bit around like my brows to really get in there. So this is like more precise blending. I do usually use a beauty blender on camera usually, but a lot of times like in my daily life, I do use more of a brush. So I really like this size for under the eye. It's not too small. I've had some that felt a little bit too small and too stiff. This one's real nice because it's like kind of a baby foundation brush. So you can get in there if you need to, but you can also kind of blend very easily. So to set the under eye, Beautylish sent over one of their Hyaluronic Hydra powders in the pressed formula from By Terry. This is in the colorless shade, so 0. I really like this powder in the loose form, and they did come out with palettes too with different colors. So I'm gonna try this on my under eye and then use a different powder for the rest of my face. But I want to get all of the creases out, and I'm going to press in here. This is a very fine powder, and this is my first time using the pressed version, but I did enjoy, that looks really good. I did enjoy the loose version. I feel like that did a really good job setting my under eyes. Like, I really like that. I'm gonna go in for the rest of my face with my Haley's Beauty Retouch. I really love this, very smoothing, one of my top smoothing picks. And I'm gonna use the Beauty Blender Pocket Puff. This is more of a yellow toned powder, but this is a super blurring powder. Okay, so my foundation is on and I'm noticing a couple things I wanted to point out. This is actually really weirding me out. Do you see how like gunky it looks right here? And look, like I set it with powder, but I feel like too much hydration. I'm actually gonna take like a wipe. I think maybe too much of that like Nemia, the hydrating products. They like pilled up in my hairline. I wanna see if you guys can see this. It feels like gummy. And I have worn this Lawless foundation like literally 20, 30 times and I love it. This has never happened. Okay, so along with the forehead thing that I don't think I've ever experienced that. I also feel like I'm a little patchy over here and these are like go-to products for me other than the Nemia. So I'm trying to fix this here just for the video. This is one of those times when I start thinking maybe I should just scrap this video, but the whole point is to show you if things don't work for me. So it could have been error. I feel like maybe I did apply too much of the glowy base, but I really wanted to try it and see how it sits under makeup. This brush is actually incredible. I really hope they sell it individually because for me, this is like great to get all around my hairline, my eyes, my brows. So hopefully we can just fix this up enough for the video. Okay, so let's move on. Hopefully we can save this. I'm gonna go in with my Glowish bronzing powder in medium. I don't have a new bronzer. See how this blends on top since I've had some patching. So it seems to be blending okay over that. I just feel like it's almost like I applied too much. Almost gave me that feeling of when you try to set like a super dewy complexion product and it just won't set. Sort of like that, like I had applied a ton of powder and it still wasn't feeling like it was set down. So for blush, I'm gonna use this Huda Beauty Cheeky Vegan Blush Powder in Charming Cherry. And I'm gonna use the A507 from that BK Beauty Hot and Flashy set. I'm still testing these out, but I did do a demo of, I think like the two lightest shades. That's a pretty shade. So these are really nice. They have a nice glow to them. My only complaint is I wish there would have been more like variation in the shades because I feel like the Healthy Peach is the lightest shade. It's very, very light, hard to show up. And then the other ones sort of all lean in this sort of pinky realm. I would have liked to see like terracotta or maybe orange or red. Okay, so next I want to finish off the eyes. I'm noticing a little bit of funkiness around my nose too, so that's great. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just applied too much of that stuff. But let's finish off the lower lash line. And I'm going to go in to the shade Queenie. Start applying this. And then under that, I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Maggie. This shade looks really pretty. Using more of a blending brush. This is more of like a purple shade. So I'm really just smoking this out. And then I'm gonna go back in with Queenie. Just wanna make sure that this is really nice and smoky. So for the inner corner, I wanna try something different and maybe put a little bit of the shade Alex down, which is actually a matte pinky purple shade. So I'm gonna place that down. I'm gonna take a little bit of that actually under here too, just to play around. Could even bring some up here, just try to tie it in. It's a really pretty shade. And then just to see, I'm gonna try a little bit of that Agatha. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. It's always like a gamble when you start applying different textures and inner corners and colors. but we're just playing around. Okay, so I think eyes are done. I just put some liner in my waterline, but I want to do lips and highlight. So I picked up this Givenchy Prism Libre highlighter. This is the limited edition one. So inside it has gold and pink. I'm hoping it will match because I have another highlighter, but it's really gold, and because we have cool tones, I wanted to dip into the pink. So I'm gonna load my brush up. Okay, it's still gonna be warm tone for this look, but ooh, it's pretty. That's the only thing I don't like is the fact that there's pink, pink, gold, gold. I wish that they would have like separated them so you could choose if you wanted to go for more of a pink, which is what I would have chosen today. So it's really beautiful, super blinding, but I would say it leans, I would say more gold. But again, I feel like it could change depending on like how much dispenses out. But I do like the formula, very thin powder. All right, I'm feeling a little bit crazy with the eyes and no lips, so let's move into lips. I have the new BK Beauty products, and then I might put on one of the Lunar Beauty lip glosses. So I'm gonna go in with the lip liner in Warm Spice. So this is what the packaging looks like. The weird thing I thought was that the lip liner packaging is very lightweight. The lipsticks are heavy, like heavy duty. So I'm gonna throw up some swatches of the lip liners. There are 4 different shades in the lip liners, and they do have a slanted tip, very much like Patrick Ta. So I'm interested to see how this will apply on the lips. So let's go ahead and do application. So it feels like a very thin formula. So she said that she did this slanted tip so that you have not a harsh line of lip liner, which I'm definitely guilty of doing sometimes, but you still have that tip on the outer edge. So I'm finding this pretty easy to use. I'd seen a couple reviews that said this was super creamy. I don't really think it's as creamy as I was expecting. I was a little nervous. I was thinking it was gonna be like ColourPop where it's like sliding everywhere, but I'm not really having that yet. So in terms of the lipstick, I haven't even touched it yet other than taking it out of the packaging. It has a beautiful, shiny, like peachy color packaging. It says BK on the top. This is extremely weighted. I noticed it right when I got the PR package out. The liners are very lightweight, but the packaging on the lipsticks are extremely heavy. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna go with this shade. I thought it was pinkier. So this is Passion. They feel very creamy, like a high shine kind of formula, not a matte at all. Let me see what other shades we have here. I think I'm going to grab out the shade Self Love, which is going to be the lightest pink. Yeah. So I'm going to try this shade possibly. So I feel like I'm a little overloaded with pink right now. I might try to put on a little bit of Kindness, see if this will just add a little bit less pink. That's why I think I don't really like pink toned lip liners. I like a pink lip, but with more of a nude lip liner. So this is the shade Kindness. Let's see, this is more peachy. So let's go ahead and try that. Okay, so I went ahead and took that off, and let's go in. This is gonna be the shade I wear the most. These almost have a balmy feel to them. Interesting. They're hydrating. They almost have like a gel balm feel to them, but they have pigment. So they're not like one swipe crazy pigment, but I mean, they definitely are pigmented. They have that high shine or hydrating feel. Just to play around a little bit, I'm gonna take the Alter Ego shade, and this is a deep liner shade. I hope this doesn't like clash. So here's the lip combo with BK Beauty. It's just a lot with the eyes, but I want to go in with a gloss from the Lunar Beauty collection. One in particular stood out to me. It just looks so beautiful. If you've never tried his glosses, they smell incredible. They're not sticky. He does not like sticky stuff, but this shade in Bitchcraft looks so pretty. I don't know how it'll go with what we have going on, but it's like a gorgeous, I mean, it matches my shirt, high shine, glittery shade. So we might as well just go there. Ooh. Oh my God, these smell so good. These are the best smelling glosses. Like, they smell so good. Because we have a lot going on and I'm just gonna push it even further, I'm gonna take a little bit of this Huda Caring Coral blush. Why not? We're already just really going for it. So I'm gonna pull this like up here. So we finally made it to the last product, which is the Nemia Set It and Forget It Setting Spray. So it says shake before use, mist the spray before, during, and after applying your makeup. It says it's going to lock your makeup in. So let's see what kind of mister we have here. The packaging, for some reason, it's giving me like Curology vibes or men's like shaving cream vibes, just stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just not seeing Nikki so much in the packaging. But that's just my opinion. Like even this, like it's giving me like Axe body spray or something like that. But let's see what the mister's like. Ooh, good mister, and it does have that kind of cologne scent. So let's just go ahead and go in. That's a good mister. And I actually like the scent in this spray. Like it's not too much, but it's definitely there. I went a little ham, but you know, we're just testing it out. Oh yeah, I forgot, I have a fan. Let's see if this works. I didn't charge it, so it might not work. It is working. It comes with like a little stand and a USB charger. Ooh, we can go even higher, okay? I have a fan like this from Amazon, so you don't have to buy the Nemia one. So I have one droplet on my forehead here. Well, that lifted my foundation. Great. Okay, I'm just gonna take a little bit of this powder. Yep, you can see like that one droplet. Dang. So my shirt and my face feels like it has a little bit of a film, like a little bit of a sticky film, but I did go pretty heavy with it. But I have to say I like the sprayer and I like the scent on this. I do feel like my face looks a little bit more hydrated, so I'm curious to see how it's gonna make my makeup wear longer. All right guys, so here's my finished makeup look using all of these new products. I know not everything is meshing or gelling, but I did the best I could because I really wanted to try out these new products even if the colors didn't go perfectly. So let's start off with the Lunar Beauty Moon Spell Volume 2. This is gorgeous. I have to say my favorite shade in here is this beautiful like pinky lilac matte. I feel like in the inner corner and then brought under the lower lash line. So along with that light shade, I really love the deepest shades in here. I feel like I would reach for those the most and just use one of these to deepen up a really beautiful like fall look. Of course, I really went there with the colors, and this is not gonna be a neutral palette by any means. Everything blended beautifully, very pigmented. I would use your fingers with the shimmers. The packaging is so heavy, and Luxe, I mean, he really does it with the packaging. So if you love this color story and you like to do fun, you know, bright looks like this, you would really enjoy this. Moving on to the Morphe Liner, I just don't think this is pigmented enough, and it just really did not swatch well or was not easy to use on the eye because it almost just feels watery and there's no pigment. But shockingly, the Nars I actually really like. I feel like it's nice and matte, especially for a pen. Usually they're more shiny. The tip is just strange because you do have to like turn it a certain way. So I just have to be mindful of the way that I'm holding it. But overall, this impressed me. I thought I was gonna hate it. I was afraid to use it because the tip wasn't really small, but I really liked it. Did not like the Morphe one. Moving on to my thoughts on Nemia. I'm gonna have to keep trying these products out, but overall I'm just kind of like on the products. I hate to say that, but I always have to keep it real. I think the idea of the eye stick really is the most intriguing to me, but I wish that it would have been a smaller stick to really like get up in your eye bag area. At least for me, I'm the most dry and I have the most fine lines like right in here. So I would have preferred maybe a smaller tip to really be able to get up there. And I feel like this tugs, like it's almost like a glue stick. It just tugs a little bit, and I would have thought it would have been more cooling and glide easier. It didn't disrupt my concealer, but I don't really notice that my concealer looks any better or worse. The License to Glow serum definitely gives you hydration, a little bit of a tack. I probably applied too much of this with the moisturizer, so again, I'm gonna have to keep trying these out. I don't like the scent of this. This one just doesn't smell very good. So I'll have to keep, you know, testing it with different products, but I did have that weird gunking in my hairline, which the only difference would be using these two products. And again, I probably use too much, so I'll keep playing around. This, you know, priming cream moisturizer, this is very much like a illuminating primer slash moisturizer. So you're gonna get the hydration, but you're really gonna get this reflection because it has like pearl, you know, reflection in there, like an illuminating property, whether it's glitter or whatever it is. So this, I would say, would probably be what I would reach for the most, just maybe as a base under my makeup, just to give me a little bit of a glow. Now, in terms of the setting spray, I like the mister on it. I thought the scent was nice. It's the same scent that's in the moisturizer, but I like it more in the setting spray. It's just not overpowering. But again, I just don't know right now if it's really wowing me. Is it going to keep my makeup on all day? It did give me a little bit of a glow, but there's a lot of affordable brands that do that. So we'll just kind of keep playing around with it, and I'll update as I've used them for a few weeks. Of course, still loving my Lawless and my ABH, so I'll link those down below, but I've raved about these. They're not new to me. I wear them all the time, and I actually really like this By Terry pressed powder. I really want to get one of the quads because they have like a light medium and a medium deep. This is the colorless shade, but they have quads that have like different tones. This is such a lightweight powder. If you don't like a powdery feel, but you want to set your makeup down, this would be great. So this is probably going to be something that I use on most days just to set my under eye. I feel like it was really lightweight, set things down, and gave me a nice smooth appearance. Now, in terms of the Huda Beauty blushes, I feel like I would like to see more colors in this range because they're a little bit harder pressed like her bronzer. So you really got to dig in there for the lightest shade. Now, not so much for this shade, which is the Charming Cherry, but for the Healthy Peach, you really have to dig in there and build it up. My favorite would be Caring Coral, but I just mixed them today. If you like something with a little bit of radiance, it's very much like her bronzer. I think you would like these, and if you don't like a super pigmented blush off, you know, first application, I think you would like these. Just know that you're gonna have to build them up, especially the lighter shades. I'm also really enjoying this Givenchy highlighter. I mean, it definitely is a splurge. It's like, I wanna be bougie and have Givenchy, but I actually like the tone of it, and I like how thin it is, but also giving you that really blinding look. I just wish that you could separate the two from the pink and the gold, because you're kind of forced to really kind of mesh them together, and on the skin, I would say it turns up more gold, so just keep that in mind, but I do like it. I'll continue to play with it. Now, in terms of BK Beauty, I actually like the formula on the lip liner, and I thought I wouldn't. I thought it was going to be too slippy from reviews that I saw, but I didn't find that it was. My only complaint is the shade range is all very pink for me personally. I don't typically, you know, wear lip liners this color. I'm more into like the brown nude type of color. So I would like to see different colors like deeper chocolates and lighter tan nudes, just more of a brown base rather than a pink. But I actually like the formula on this. It's very thin. I didn't find it too slick. It's definitely creamy, but I didn't lose any control. Now the lipsticks, I love the packaging. They feel very luxe, but again, the shades are just not my go-to. I tend to go for, again, like really peachy or nude shades or really light shades and then a deeper lip liner. These are more like everyday, and they feel quite balmy to me, almost like a gel-like texture on the lips. I don't know if I love that, but again, I'm trying so many new products, so I'm gonna have to test it out and just see how I like it with my go-to lip liner colors and all of that. But if you love pink, these are gonna be your colors. And if you want something hydrating that still has pigment, you might wanna check these out. Always love the glosses from Lunar Beauty. This shade is gorgeous, the one that I put on today. Just so beautiful, and these smell absolutely incredible. So if you do not like a sticky gloss, you will love these. I don't mind a sticky gloss, but I can go both ways. And then lastly, the BK Beauty Hot and Flashy set. I love BK Beauty brushes, and I really like these two brushes for eye work because they're basically just like mini blenders. So if you compare, you've got a big blender, and then you've got a medium, and then a small. I like to use these on my lower lash line. I really just buff out, smoke out. It gives me precision, but I still have the ability to blend. And this, I want this like multiples of these. This is the A506. This is so nice for all around your brows, for concealer, just any, you know, around your hairline. It helped me fix that issue that I had with the gunking. So overall, I really like this set. I love BK Beauty in general, but hopefully they will release these separately because there's a couple that stand out to me, which would really be these three I would probably use the most. So that is everything for this trying new makeup. I know we played with a ton of like pinks and purples, and I feel like it's overload right now, but hopefully you got to see these products demoed and maybe see if there was anything that you were interested in checking out. I will link all the products down below in my description box, and I would love to know, have you been eyeing any of these products? Have you tried them? Did you love them? Did you hate them? Or do you want to try them? I love to have a conversation in the comments just about what you guys are interested in or what you don't like. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.